What's going on, guys? My name's Michael Elliott, and today I'm going to be showing you how to scrape over 50,000 leads for less than the price of probably half a coffee or a coffee. Okay? If that sounds like something you're interested in, stick with me because this is critical. Now, cold outreach and outbound marketing is thriving. It's something that is powering a lot of freelancers and developers, and the growth of the AI space is assisting with that. But what I wanted to run through here with you is not necessarily a make.com scenario. I wanted to run through how to leverage Apify in order for you to be able to increase not only your retainers, but also diversify your service offering. And then we will scrape the leads. Because I think there's a massive hole in the market in regards to people's ability to cross-sell individual services that they have. So let's do a run. Just if you're not familiar with what Apify is a platform where developers can create things called actors, and you'll see a list of actors for Apollo in front of me, which is what I've searched for. If you search for anything in this bar, then you could search for, I don't know, let's see if anything comes up for that. So Google Ads Scraper. You can look for with make.com integrations scraper. You can look for LinkedIn, Indeed. Let's say Indeed. Let's use the Indeed scraper. Okay, Indeed scraper to search for web developers in San Francisco, web development jobs in the US, in San Francisco, max 50 items. You hit start. I didn't change any settings. It was all preset for me, and this is about to pull me 50, if I allow it to go that far, 50 jobs that match that criteria immediately, right? Scout Motors are looking for a senior staff software engineer, front-end digital products, $250,000 a year salary. If you are in a position where you are a developer or you can spot opportunities to reach out to these companies and support, then you can see why this would be really valuable. I've aborted now, and we've got this scrape list of, all these jobs going in, all of these jobs going in San Francisco. But if we were to go back to the actor, okay, let's go back to the actor and search for AI specialist, automation specialist. And let's just search 50 of these. Let's just see. I've never done this before. Like I said, I do all of my videos off the dome. So this means that I don't know what this is going to come out with with automation specialists. If anybody has job posts, if I've used the correct wording, maybe not. Maybe I'll need to stop this and have a look and find. So here we go. I mean, if we abort this, do I abort this now? Give it a little bit longer. Automation specialists. Let me abort now. It does have a habit of popping around. So, seasoned marketing manager, SaaS. Okay, SaaS and consulting focus. The lonely entrepreneur. If you look through these, you'll find different opportunities for automation. Where building automation system specialist, Plymouth, Michigan. Why can you not cold outreach that guy and say, hey, you don't need to pay someone $70,000 a year because my $3,000 retainer will do 50 times what an employee will do, because hiring should be the thing that's last on your list. Looking to streamline processes should be on your list. So I hope I'm getting the point across. There's more than one way to approach this in terms of leads, but let's get to the golden goose, right? Inside of here, this is Apollo. If you don't know what Apollo is a platform that allows you to be able to scrape leads, sign up for free. It'll bring you to the homepage. And what we're going to do is we're going to search for people in senior positions at SaaS companies. So inside of here, in terms of the keywords, we can search for any keyword you want. So you could, like, if you were looking for web design, you could search for web design. If you were looking for anything, anything specific, you can search for. Software, you can get broader. But I like the keyword choices that I've picked, so I'm just going to stick with the ones that I've got. Okay. Industries, it doesn't really matter. We'll stick with SaaS. You might want to do industries. Employees-wise, because I want to target larger firms, I trim this down quite a lot because of the volume before. The amount of SaaS companies that exist that have less than 10 members of staff is quite high. I want to specifically target them. Do you know what? Maybe for the use case, I'm not going to bother. You see, it's top heavy. There are a lot. The most actually are the bigger ones, but you can see that it's just about getting them to pay your retainer. You know, if you've got a 3-man SaaS company that's just coming off the ground, it's one of those. But let's just chuck everything at the wall and see what sticks. That's a good idea. So this is company location in the US, and you can see there's 8 million. Now that's a lot of leads to go after. Okay, you're going to need a lot of inboxes to cold outreach to those, but it can be done. What we're going to do, though, is we're going to go even further. So we're not going to use company and lookalikes, but you can enter companies that have similar sort of approaches, and you can also use your own individual, like that is a lookalike. You can target, so you need a paid plan for this. This is why we use Apify to scrape. But if you had a paid plan, you could go deeper and deeper and deeper. But it's a shotgun approach to what you're probably trying to do. So what we do here is, we look at this and we go for, instead of targeting lower level members of staff, we target higher up the tree. What we want to do is we want to get, when it comes to cold outreach, you want to get your message in front of the correct audience at the correct time. And the critical element to that is targeting people in senior positions that are able to make decisions and actually book and respond to meetings and ultimately give you what you want, which is a paying client. You won't find that with customer support staff. You will find that with founders, vice presidents, etc. You should always keep that in your mind when you're looking at cold outreach. So, going back into this, we want to include, let's just see what's under the advanced tab. Yeah, is known, management level, owner, founder, C-suite, partner, VP, head, director. We've now shrunk that 3 million down to 868,000 just by targeting those. Let's take director out in case it's like director of marketing. Take head out in case it's that. If we go from VP and up in terms of what we've got 500,000 SaaS companies in the US that we can target with cold outbound. That's a lot of leads. That is a lot of individual people. Let's go to emails that are verified. We trim that down to 316,000 personas, real estate home buyers. These are custom things that you can create, lists, like lists that you might have created. But I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that size of list. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to run this for, let me try something. I'm just going to get rid of the location. And I'm going to try the United Kingdom, which is obviously where I am. There's 40,000 in the UK, and there are a stupid amount more than that in the US. So yeah, we've got 300,000 leads here, sat here, that have access to email that we can use, and we can structure this in a way which allows us to be able to pull that information. I'm going to stick with the US first. That information and reach out via cold outbound. So we've got everything that we need. The email is verified. The company sizes are correct. The software as a service, as a solution, is what we've got. I think that is about as much as we really want to do. So there are lots of other different things, scores and things like that you can achieve if you have a paid plan. But the whole point of using Apify is not to avoid that. So this is the URL that we want to scrape. So I'm going to put that inside of Apify. I'm going to search for Apollo scrapers. I'm going to search for Apollo. I'm going to find the best scraper, Code Pioneer. And I'm going to put in here the URL that we've just scraped. And I am going to scrape, for the sake of this video, I'm going to do the minimum of 500. But right after this, I'm going to go and I'm going to export the whole lot of them. And I'm going to do cold outbound for them, ticketing solutions for SaaS businesses. Something just came to my mind. Like I said it earlier, I think, about ticketing. Now, this will run 500 leads. And once it's done, you're unfortunately going to have to look at my face for a little while because I need to upload this document into a Google Sheet. But I'll showcase this to you. Now, this is now scanning through and finding people that match our criteria. So it has a fully fledged sort of basically unending with that amount. Like I'll scrape all of them, but if you think about how broad you could go in an industry, you could pull in here from an unquantifiable data list, having that many. So that's where the shotgun approach comes in for you. But the Actor's powerful because it's pulling from Apollo where leads are qualified before. So we know that we have a specific list and we know that the email should be verified. It's not always the case, but it should be verified. I'm just going to allow it to finish. I'm going to abort it now, actually, because it's just getting boring for you. Let's do this, okay? So now we want to export this. We can export this as a CSV. I don't know why it's not allowing me to showcase that to you there. Let me flick between these. I don't know why it's not allowing me to do that, but all fields included and omit fields, normally you can choose them. Now, you want all the fields because it doesn't do any damage. There you go. So you see here, selected fields, first name, country, keywords, organization, URL. You can see how something like Phantom Buster and stuff could be used when you have all the different individual information of socials and everything. You are in a position where you have everything that you need from said lead. So I'm going to export it. I'm going to download it. And now you're going to have to take a look at me for a moment while I upload this to Google Sheets. But when you see what happens inside of Sheets, when you see the value of what actually ends up being popped out inside of here, you're going to see why Apify and Apollo are so powerful, because they're qualified. If you look at this from a perspective of formatting, it's hideous. Let me go background black, text white, centered, and bold. It was already bold. Select this, hit this out. Now, you can see already very clearly that we have email, first name. Let's drag that along. Let's put that right at the front. First name, email. Let's go find here. Industry. We have loads of keywords there. Last name. We'll take that to the front. First name, last name, email. Industry can be important. We can delete that. I mean, they're all in the IT industry, so it's probably not. I mean, these can be important. You could use them. This data is important. LinkedIn URL to setting up of DMing. It's actually got the full names here, so we don't need to pull that. It actually has the name. Let me just see if they match. Yeah, they do. So that's good. So I'll show you how we would use that later on. But annual revenue printed, you can see from the size of the companies, you could do some filtering inside of here to filter by a specific, like you could extract it. The point is that we are now left with everything about this organization. Okay. We also have their address. We have their organic SEO description, which we could leverage in order to be able to target them specifically for that. There are a few businesses in here which would never respond to a cold email, particularly. But when you've got 300,000 of them, which was the point, you have that. You've got the personal email and their business email. So if you wanted to take that approach, that's something that you could do. I'm not advising or telling you to avoid it. I'm just telling you it has its personal email address available. And you can use this information to be able to do basically whatever you want to do with. If we head to make.com, create a Google Sheets, and and we want to search rows, and we want to grab the ID. We want to grab the ID, which is obviously in between edit and the letter D slash. We take this inside of here. We put the spreadsheet ID in. We map it. Put the spreadsheet ID in. The sheet name will be the Apollo data set. So I'm just going to rename it to sheet 1 again, which is what is standard just for this individual use case. It probably would have been easier just to copy and paste it, but we're all in. And save. Run this module only. We're now spat out with all of this personalized information and email. And you have a list of 500 individual businesses. I think I aborted it at 400. So 400 SaaS businesses in the US, which may or may not be in a position, to assist from your point of view for reaching out. To go to the next level in terms of like running, you could add a module that's an Apify module, because you can do it, which runs an actor, and have it use the Apollo company scraper that we've just used. The JSON is inside of the individual actor that we ran. So if you go into the actor and you hit JSON there, you'll see the JSON builder. You can use it to trigger when a Google Sheet is updated or whatever. If you wanted to have something fire consistently and it was pulling small data sets, there might be use cases for that, where you then go on to create a second scenario where you have, let me unlink these, where you have an Apify actor. Why will it not allow me to do that? Let me do this. There we go. Watch actor runs. You can watch. You would have a separate scenario. You have something firing here from a sheet, from like watch a row being updated. It fires that. You would have watch a row and the actor inside of this module. Inside of this, we create this. We add Apify. Watch actor runs. Okay. Create a webhook. I've already got a webhook. And the actor. What was the actor called that I used? Please stop doing that. What was the actor called that I used? Apollo scrape up to 50k leads. So Apollo, I've done this the wrong way around. So what we want is we want to have this fire every day at 12 p.m. or whatever, right? Whatever time. There's no difference. But then you want to have an actor run. That module needs to be. When I said I do everything off the dome, I hope you believe me now. We need to watch. Here we go. No, yeah, yes. It is a search rows module that then runs an actor, right? And that actor is built off of this, the 50k scraper, the JSON that we need from inside of here. My brain just had a wobble. This is the JSON input. It'll be quite long because this is the Apollo URL. In this particular case, this won't work because you'd be doing 500. But the point is that you add that to the trigger. It runs every day, and you have it search for rows inside of a spreadsheet, and you have it filter to like the email or whatever, the name, whatever it is, the country, the organization, whatever it would be that you would use in the hashtag, like for example, or you just literally put in a new Apollo URL. So you put an Apollo URL in there, and then you make this dynamic by setting variables, and you'd have to create a completely separate scenario altogether that has an Apify watch actor runs module. And then what that would do is it would watch for that run, and then from there you can go and do whatever you want with it. You can literally do whatever you want. Watching for the same actor that we had previously, and that gives us the chance to, we can parse the data, we can take the information, we can use OpenAI to start to create cold icebreakers, we can scrape their LinkedIns for the latest post to do that, and you can do it all automatically by updating that row. Apollo's not a good example for automating Apify because of the fact that the URL is dynamic. I mean, you'd have to change whatever information it was that you wanted to do. But for use cases like, for example, scraping YouTube or something like that, you might want that to run every day for a very specific person or people for you to look at and monitor. But I hope you understand from this video the power of Apify and Apollo. Apollo and Apify are ridiculously powerful when they're used together, but the other actors shouldn't be slept on. The flows that you can build and the amount of emails that I send out on a consistent basis using this structure is ridiculous. If you want to make money by using cold outreach, use Apify and Apollo. Cheers.